Hello everyone and welcome to ITLS Academy Empower the Youth. So today in this lecture we will going to study about microorganism of water. In the previous lecture we have completed microorganisms of soil. So in this particular lecture we will see how microorganisms is present in water, what are the waterborne diseases, how this microorganism select their habitat in water, and in this particular lecture we will also going to see some MCQs based questions. So let's get started with the topic. So we know that this water is very essential to life, but many people do not have access to clean and safe drinking water, and many die due to waterborne bacterial infection. The contaminants in drinking water cause serious health hazard which includes nausea, lung irritation, skin rash, vomiting, dizziness and even death. So this water is very essential for life. No life on this planet can be possible without water. Everyone need water for their survival, and same is the case with microorganisms. So since this microorganisms, they are so tiny that you cannot see with your naked eyes. So whenever they are present in water, you cannot see water. You cannot see microorganisms. Can you see bacteria in water? No. But whenever you check that sample of water, if you check a tap water sample under a microscope, you can see there are thousands and thousands of bacteria present in in that particular sample. That is the reason whenever water is used in every food processing industry. No food can be prepared without water. So in every industry water treatment plant is there. Water is treated, right? ro is used, ro are used in our homes. Why? Because we need a safe drinking water. If there are many people in this on this earth that do not have access to the pure water, they do not have access to the clean water, and they die because of this waterborne infectious diseases, right? So this water has lots and lots of microbial infection, or you can say contaminant in themselves, and these contaminant that are present in water, they causes a they causes a very serious health hazard. They include nausea, lung irritation, skin rash, vomiting, dizziness and even sometimes the death of a person. So water plays a very favorable condition for the microorganism to grow. See, we as a human being need water to survive. Same is the case with the microorganism. Microorganisms, they, they grow very well where water, or you can say moisture, is very high. That is the reason most of the food, they get contaminated, they can deteriorate it. Why? Because of the moisture content present, because microorganism can easily grow where the content of where the moisture content is high. So this heading says the aquatic environment represent an area and volume of the largest part of the biosphere, and both fresh water and sea contain many species of microorganisms adapted to these particular habitat. The bacteria isolated from water of an open ocean often have a physiological requirement for salt, grow best at a relatively low temperature of the ocean, and are nutritionally adapted to the relatively low concentration of available organic and nitrogenous compound. Thus, from the point of view of laboratory routinely handling bacteria from environment directly associated with man, marine water are usually described as oligotropic psychrophiles with a requirement for sodium chloride for optimum growth. So, see, aquatic environment represent the largest volume of microorganism, and this water, if you see, if you take a sample of if you take or you can say if you take a sample of any water, very of ocean water, if you take a sample of ocean water, and if you visualize that sample under the microscope, you see bacterias, and these bacterias for their physiological growth, they require the salt. And we all know that this water, this all the ocean water has an abundant amount of salt in themselves, so they can easily grow where the content of salt is high and the temperature is low. So that makes them to grow very well, because they are getting the favorable environment, right? They are getting a low temperature, they are getting a proper amount of nutrition, means where they can easily get from the low concentration of organic or nitrogenous compound that are present in the aquatic water, so they can easily grow in that environment, right? So microorganisms, they have a tendency to grow in fresh water as well as in salt water. So these organisms include the microscopic plant and animal, as well as bacteria, fungi and viruses. This is not limited to the bacteria, that only bacteria is present in this fresh water or in this salt water. No, they are apart from bacteria, fungi, viruses, some microscopic plants and animals can easily grow in this environment. As with other microbes, you can say the one that live in water are adapted to the specific condition of their environment. So this habitat ranges from ocean water with an extremely high salt content to the fresh water lakes or rivers. So these microorganisms, they need this high salt content. Whenever they are getting extremely high salt content, because we all know that this marine water, they have a very high content of salt, and this high content of salt makes the environment very favorable for the microorganism to grow, right? So water as a microbial habitat. So water, we all know that this water plays a very important role, right? So this water is playing an important role for the microorganism to survive. And apart from that, they are also giving giving this microorganism a very extremely high salt content. So taking these two as water and a high salt content, that makes the environment very favorable for microorganism to grow. The surface of the fish caught from cold water in an open sea will have a bacterial flora which reflect their environment and will thus contain predominantly psychrophilic and psychotropic species. Many of these organisms can break down macromolecules such as protein, polysaccharides and lipids, and they may have a doubling time as short as 10 hours at a refrigeration temperature of 0 to 7, or you can say 1 degree centigrade. Many shellfish used for food grow in these populated coastal water, and the majority fed by filtering out particle from large volume of seawater. If these water have been contaminated with sewage, there is always the risk that the enteric organism have from infected individual may be present and will concentrated by filter feeding activities of the shellfish. So this is how this shellfish that is present in the aquatic life, or you can say seawater, they use to food to grow in the coastal area. Now one heading is I'm writing on the this microbiological water analysis. If you analyze the water, this microbiological water analysis. So this heading says, this microbiological water analysis says, the most important bacterial gastrointestinal diseases transmitted through water are chlorella. We know that we have salmonellosis is there. So these diseases are mainly transmitted through water and contaminated with the feces of the any patient. So drinking water can be contaminated with these pathogenic bacteria, and this is an issue of great concern. Many of the presence of the pathogenic bacteria in water is erratic levels and are low. The isolation and culture of these bacteria is not straightforward. For these reasons, routine water microbiological analysis does not include the detection of the pathogenic bacteria. However, safe water demands that water is free from any types of pathogens. So, we should always routine check the water that we are getting in our homes, because there is thousands and thousands of diseases that can be caused through this water, impure water. So we should always take an analysis of water what we are drinking. Now moving to the next, that is waterborne diseases. So this waterborne diseases, if you see, severe diseases such as hepatitis or typhoid fever or milder illness such as gastroenteritis have been caused by eating contaminated or oysters and mussels, which seem to be perfectly normal in taste and appearance. In the warmer sea, unpolluted water may contain significant amount of vibros, and these vibros may also be concentrated by filter feeding shellfish. Indeed, they may form a stable part of the natural aerotic flora, and some shellfish. This organism may be responsible for outbreak of food poisoning, especially associated with the seafood. So this waterborne diseases. So waterborne diseases is caused through water. So impure water may cause most of the waterborne diseases. So there are some you can say there are some viral source of waterborne diseases, that is hepatitis A. Hepatitis A is the inflammation, or you can say the necrolysis of the liver. Then comes the rotaviruses. It is acute gastroenteritis, and especially it occurs in rotavirus especially occurs in children. That is the reason whenever a newborn baby is born, so rotavirus is a vaccine that is given to a newborn baby. Then comes the reoviruses. They infects the intestine and upper respiratory tract. So this is the most viral diseases that is caused by impure water. So let us discuss one thing, that see, this water has different types of microorganism in themselves. If we talk about amoeba. So amoeba, they causes the embryonic dysentery. So amoeba, what it causes? It causes embryonic dysentery. So this embryonic dysentery, it has a symptoms like severe diarrhea, headache, abnormal pains, chills, fever. If not treated, can cause liver disorders, or sometimes even the death of a person can be caused by this microorganism that is known as amoeba, right? So see, not only bacteria, different types of protozoas also have a very adverse effect on our health if water is not treated. If we talk about, apart from this protozoa, if we talk about let me write bacteria, right? So one of the very popular bacteria that we all are familiar with is E. coli. So E. coli, so it causes a urinary tract infection, and it also causes some intestinal diseases. So what are the symptoms? Like headache, fever, kidney damage. Sometimes even the death of a person can also be occur if we have taken a water that is not treated, the impure water. Apart from this, one of the most important, you can say, diseases, or the most, so not important, the most common diseases is caused by salmonella. It causes salmonellosis, and it causes, what are the symptoms? Sudden sickness, intestinal cramp, vomiting, diarrhea, and sometimes light fevers. So this causes a very high infection in our body. Apart from E. coli, salmonella, vibro causes cholera, and in this cholera heavy diarrhea is the symptom. So apart from bacteria, apart from protozoa, means there are various type of viral diseases we have discussed, like hepatitis A, rotavirus, reovirus, enterovirus. So these all are caused through water borne diseases. These all are waterborne diseases. So if we talk about bacteria, right? So bacteria is present everywhere, whether it's water, whether it's soil, whether it's anywhere. Bacteria is always present in every part of the environment, right? Now comes the fresh water of rivers and lakes also have a complex flora of microorganisms, which will include genuinely aquatic species uh, as well as a component introduced from terrestrial, animal and plant sources. As with the coastal water of the sea, fresh water may also act as a vehicle for bacteria, protozoa and viruses, causing disease through contamination with sewage effluent containing human fecal material. These organisms do not usually multiply in river and lake water and may be present in very low but nevertheless significant number, making it difficult to demonstrate their presence by direct method. It is used to infer the possibility of the presence of such organism by actual looking for a species of bacterium which is always present in large number in human feces, is unlike to grow in fresh water but will survive at least as long as any pathogen. Such organism is known as indicator organism, and the species usually chosen in temperate climate in E. coli. So it is always the organism that can ease then that can cause you can say like uh, microorganism that grow in a fresh water but will survive at least as long as any pathogen. So this is known as indicator organisms. So what are the means one question generally arises, what is the study of microorganism in water? We will be discussing this after this slide. Of the aquatic photosynthetic microorganism, the cyanobacteria or a blue-green algae amongst the prokaryotes and the dinoflagellates amongst the eukaryotes have certainly had an impact on food quality and safety. Both these group of microorganisms can produce a very toxic metabolites which may become concentrated in shellfish without apparently causing them any harm. When consumed by humans, however, they can cause a very nasty illness such as paralytic shellfish poisoning. So see up to how extent water can cause, impure water can cause diseases in our body. So let us discuss on the basis of this lecture, let us discuss one thing that may come in the examination or in the interview, like what is the study of of, I'm writing microorganism in short, I'm writing it in full, microorganism in water. So what is the study of microorganism in water? So water microbiology is the significant disciplinary that is concerned with the study of all the biological aspect of microorganism, whether it's a bacteria, whether it's a archaebacteria, whether it's any fungi, viruses, parasites, sometimes even the protozoa also that exist in water. So this is also known as marine microbiology. Means apart from water microorganism in water, that is known as water microbiology. So it is also known as marine microbiology, which subdisciplinary of environmental microbiology. So this question can be asked in the examination. So what is the role of in examinations? The second question can be asked, what is the role of microorganism in water treatment? So biological wastewater treatment, they employs the microorganism to remove the organic matter from the water. So apart from causing any illness in our body, microorganisms also play an important role also in treating the water. So this is something about the microorganism. So microorganism is harmful as well as beneficial for human beings. So we have discussed this. So let us discuss a very frequently three questions. What are the useful microorganism? In exam they can ask you, state the uses of bacteria, how fungi are important to humans, and what is the importance of protozoa. In examination these questions can be asked, sometimes in the interviews also this question can be asked. So this is all about the today's lecture. If you have any doubt, any queries related to any of the slide, related to any of the heading, you can just leave your queries in the comment section below. In the next class I'll be clearing all your queries, and if you have any doubt related to the courses, you can simply visit our website, that is www.itlsacademy.com. Thank you for watching, and yes student, please do like, share and subscribe. This is our helpline number, that is 7080833450. You can simply call on this number and get updated of the courses, and yes, you can just press the bell icon and get updated of a new lecture that is coming. So thank you students.